Guitar is a paradox. It's simultaneously the most difficult instrument to play and the least impressive instrument you can play. Okay, pipe organ is actually a much harder instrument, but no one really plays organ, and guitar is almost as hard. If you've ever been to group therapy, there are days where one person just needs to get everything off their chest. And oftentimes, others in the room get a similar cathartic therapeutic effect as the one person shares the common struggles of humankind. I'm a music doctor, a lifelong guitarist, and a damn good guitar teacher, but today is about guitar therapy. The first crazy thing about the guitar is you have to develop two totally different skills with each hand. Your left hand selects the notes. Notice, notes is plural, but more on that later. Your left hand selects the notes, and then your right hand has to play the notes. If we think about the piano, both hands play keys. Saxophone, both hands play keys. Trumpet, one hand plays keys. And sure, we have other stringed instruments like the viola and the violin and the cello, and each hand does something different. Most of the time, they're only expected to play one note at a time, and occasionally a couple of double stops, okay, fine. But with the guitar, you are expected to master single notes and master a huge chord vocabulary. Oh, and when you play those chords, you have to be able to strum them in all types of crazy patterns while moving your left hand. Sometimes you use a pick, sometimes you use fingers, and it's up to you to figure out when is the right time for each technique, and the whole thing is kind of ridiculous. And speaking of the right hand, cello players, violin players, they mostly bow, and occasionally they'll pluck with their fingers. But guitarists, we have to strum, we have to sweep pick, we have to alternate pick, we have to down pick. Sometimes we just use our fingers, and then there's a whole bunch of other techniques we need to learn, like tremolo picking and PMI, whatever it's called, classical stuff. And then of course we can just use a pick with our fingers and combine it, and then we have hybrid picking. And hybrid picking has a whole different list of techniques and options. It's ridiculous. If you like to talk about guitar, if you're a lifelong guitarist and you really enjoy guitar playing, you'll definitely want to subscribe to my Lifelong Guitarist Newsletter, link below. It's totally free, delivered to your inbox every Saturday morning. It's a video and article podcast. Most of it is more positive than this video, but check it out, link below. Oh, I remember earlier in the video when I said the left hand selects the notes and the right hand picks the notes? Well, sometimes the left hand plays the notes by itself, and sometimes the right hand picks the notes. So we reversed the whole thing we're supposed to be doing to begin with. Guys and two girls, we're just getting started because so far I've only talked about techniques. What about playing with musicality, crafting a beautiful tone? Well, many of the long list of techniques we discussed requires a specific tone, and as guitar players, you're expected to use your electric guitar plus a combination of other technologies to generate the right tone for the right time. When was the last time a euphonium player or a bassoonist had to worry about where the compressor goes in the chain? Or do we put the delay before or after a reverb? But what about the chorus, the flanger, the phaser, the tube screamer, the fuzz pedal, the wah pedal? When you get hired for a gig as a guitar player, the person hiring you expects you just to know all of this stuff. Hey, give me that 80s tone. What if I don't have the 80s tone ready? How about this one? You're a clarinet player, so someone says, oh, you play clarinet, play us a song. So you pick up your clarinet, you play any random song you've learned. Usually the music is right in front of you as well, but whatever. You play any random song you learn and they just go, oh yeah, he plays clarinet. Awesome. The song will consist of a series of single notes, and if you play it with a decent tone, somewhat in time, you did your job. Everyone in the room acknowledges that you must be a decent clarinet player. If someone has a keyboard in the corner, you jump on it and play a couple of lines from a famous piano song and everyone is impressed. But if someone says, hey, I have a guitar in my attic, can you play us something? There's two big issues. Number one, the guitars that most people have in their attic are pieces of junk. But if we grab that guitar and say, sorry, this is a 3/4 scale acoustic guitar with extremely high action, and I play death metal, so I need an electric guitar and a decent amp, low action, and time to warm up, we look like a fool. But here's the other part about it. Even if it's a decent acoustic guitar and we just play a simple melody like a clarinet player could do, it sounds pretty bland and it sounds pretty boring. Honestly, it sounds very amateur. If we play any popular piano song that anyone can play after literally a few lessons, I mean, it's so easy. There's a program button on the keyboard that teaches you how to play it itself. If you play any of those songs, Everyone thinks you're a piano player. But doing that same thing on the guitar where you play chords and melody at the same time, that's what everyone expects, but it's one of the hardest things to do on the guitar. In other words, in addition to learning how to master chords and master single notes, we only sound really impressive alone if we can somehow mix the two on the fly together. It's absolutely madness. By the way, something else. Why does every guitar player online seem to have this perfectly clean studio? I'm calling you guys out. Some guitarists fake their playing, but these guys fake how clean their office is. Jack Gardner, Jack Taylor. Okay, how about a non-Jack guitar player, Andrew Baina? Here's the truth. This is what an actual office desk looks like. And if you're curious, this is the best office desk you could buy. It's the E7 Plus sit-stand desk by FlexiSpot. Of course, linked below. You'll notice this is a 4-frame standing desk. Before this, I had a crappy, yucky 2-frame standing desk. And since I'm 6 feet tall, when I would stand up and use the desk, it was super flimsy, and you could only fit about 200 pounds on it. You'll see why the weight capacity matters in a second. I promise it's going to be really, really cool. This is a 4-frame desk, which is extremely strong and stable. And even if you're 6 feet or taller, it will go as high as you need it to go, since it goes above 50 inches high. And not only does it go high, but it's also super strong. In fact, it's so strong I have everything bolted to it. My giant speakers, my Axe FX3, my lights, my giant heavy 4K monitor, and a bunch more. And even with all of that stuff, I can sit on top of it and it will still move up and down smoothly. The weight capacity is over 500 pounds. Other desks of a similar quality like the Uplift V2 and the desk costs are way over $1,000. What? For a desk, you could just buy another guitar with that much money. The E7 Plus is way more affordable and you get a 15-year warranty. Imagine if any guitar came with a 15-year warranty. That's like 2 refrets. I've been using this desk for over 6 months. I love it. I use it for many, many hours every single day. Don't miss your chance to get your own E7 Plus 4-leg standing desk. If you have a limited budget, you can choose the E7 Premium desk. Use my code YTE7P510 for $50 off. FlexiSpot also offers special discounts to military, students, doctors, and more. Click the link below now. Let's talk about some more madness. For my American viewers, there's this sport that everyone around the world plays. They call it football. We call it soccer. If your goal is to become a professional soccer player, you have to start at a really young age, around age 5, 6, 7, 8 at the latest. And that's because soccer is one of the most popular sports across the world, and it doesn't require any special genetic gifts. Now, of course, genetics do help a lot, but for example, you don't have to be 6.5 feet tall to play soccer. You just need a tiny circle thing called the ball and some type of empty lot, and you can start practicing as soon as you can walk. That's what everyone around the world does, and that's why the standards for soccer are so extremely high. Think of it this way. If you are very poor, there is plenty of empty land around you that's barren. You can get anything that's shaped like a ball. It can be deflated and you can still learn soccer. So with soccer, we have a sport that's very accessible, and if you get really good at it, you can change your whole family's life. Such a powerful motivator. Guitar players, does that sound familiar? Guitar is one of the most accessible instruments across the world. It's pretty cheap, all things considered, and it's found in so many different styles of music across the world. And all of that combines to the next point. Our standards and repertoire are insane. Here's a quick story to explain the point. I was at my BJJ gym the other day, and the owner, who knows I play guitar, was saying he played a little growing up and he wants to get back into it. I can tell by his kind of energy that his next question was going to be, can I help him get back into playing guitar? But luckily, before he asked me that question, he showed me some of the guitar players that inspire him. Here's one example on screen right now. And as he was showing me this video, a French woman in the gym came over and said, I love gypsy guitar. Do you play gypsy guitar, Andre? No. I don't play Brazilian guitar. I don't play gypsy guitar. Those are two totally different things. And the style of guitar playing that I play, you probably never even heard of. So when you tell someone I play guitar, everyone in the room is going to have a different standard and a different idea of what that means. And if you're in a multicultural room, chances are you can't play any of the music on guitar that anyone around you actually thinks of as guitar music, not to mention the standards. There are guitarists who somehow think Joe Bonamassa and Steve Vai suck. Are you kidding me? The other day, I was watching a video of one of my favorite guitar players, Tom Quayle, and it was a video where he's talking mostly about technique, and he was doing like a long demo of him playing legato technique. And the entire comment section was filled with people saying he isn't playing with emotion. It's all just technique. What the f does that even mean? It's a video about technique. So he's showing you the technique. Oh, I know. You want emotion like a singer can emote, or like a sarangi player can conjure, or even a horn player. Or here's the thing, a singer or a wind player can create beautiful phrases by varying the dynamic of their notes while they perform a line. Give it more air for drama, give it less air for pathos. And bowed instrumentalists can do the same thing by bowing hard or by bowing soft. Piano players can play a note hard or they can play a note soft. And they can use a sustain pedal to cheat and make the notes sustain. Also, by the way, if someone plays a beautiful, very challenging Mozart piece, no one says, oh, that piano player is all technique. It's a technical song. That's what it sounds like. Guitarists, once we play a note, it immediately starts to die. There's no beautiful variations in volume after onset of the note. We can play it hard or we can play it soft, but there isn't a big thing in between that we can do once the note starts. And to vary the tone of our guitar playing, we have to figure out how to move our arm on the x-axis. For example, here's a very bright, sharp tone. And as I move it on the x-axis, it gets more bassy. So yeah, that's kind of cool, but we have to figure out how to move our hand left and right to vary the tone as we move it up and down to vary the pitch, but not just with this hand, but also with this hand. What the f is that? And then remember that the XY axis of the right hand that we're using to vary tone and pitch is totally different than the XY axis of the left hand that we're using to vary octave and pitch. Oh, and don't forget, we need to do both of these things, left, right, up, down, different directions with our hand at the exact same time. It's absolute madness. And here's the thing, even though I already objectively proved the piano is a much, much easier instrument than the guitar, a few of you are going to chime in and say the piano actually has a lot of the same challenges as the guitar. Let's take a look at the piano in more detail. Piano has 88 notes, and they are arranged in the exact same pattern that repeats every 7 notes. If we want to be technical, every 12 notes, the pattern repeats exactly the same. And you can use that nice, simple pattern to understand exactly where every single note is on the piano. Now let's look at a guitar. Let's try to figure out what notes are on the guitar and how they're arranged. Good luck finding a logical pattern there. It's so hard, we have a trillion different methods to do it. Oh, and good luck figuring out which is the best method for you and your style of guitar playing. Oh, and then factor this in. Imagine if every key of the piano was a different width. On guitar, down here is one stretch to play a 1, 2, 3, and up here, it's so cramped, we can barely fit our fingers in the same spot, so we have to change our fingerings completely. With piano, you learn the fingering, you just play it the same way in every single octave. And speaking of stretching, this is going to stretch your brain. A flute player must master about 37 notes. Violin, roughly 51. That's a lot. Piano, 88 notes. But a 6-string electric guitar, 144 notes. Arranged in a random, crazy way. And then some of us who play 7 or 8-string guitar, that can have up to 192 notes. Even if we go old school and we pick up a 21 fret guitar, that's still 126 notes, arranged in a crazy, random pattern that makes absolutely no sense, and weird frets that get smaller as you move up. I don't understand why the guitar is so popular. I don't know why I play guitar. It's ridiculous. If you like to talk about guitar, if you're a lifelong guitarist and you really enjoy guitar playing, you'll definitely want to subscribe to my Lifelong Guitarist Newsletter, link below. It's totally free, delivered to your inbox every Saturday morning. It's a video and article podcast. Most of it is more positive than this video, but check it out, link below.